Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ask Learning Leaders show. We are here on episode 13, coming at you live from Shanghai. Delighted to be with you today here on the Ask Learning Leaders show. Going to answer any and all of your questions. Just a quick reminder, if you have any questions to ask us, find your coach, send us an email, ask@learningleaders.com, follow us on Snapchat or follow us on Instagram to make sure that you can get in touch. So, awesome week this week. We're wrapping up with the final sessions for the spring debate semester. We have a few students coming in for some makeup sessions before the summer camp starts. But overall, just want to wish everybody an awesome summer. Make sure you have a great time, get some rest, read a lot of books this summer, and can't wait to see you in the fall. So, speaking of one of the students ending their time in this in the spring semester, we have a special question here from Jason. Jason's going to be moving next year to the States, so we want to give a big shout out to Jason. Been with the program for years now, and just want to say thank you, Jason, for everything you've been doing, and your sister Jessica. So let's start off with a question from Jason here. Let's see what he says.
Hi, my name is Jason. I'm from Vespucci. My question to Ask Learning Leaders is, how do you feel the burn during debates?
All right, Jason's question, how do you feel the burn during debates? And I have a sneaking suspicion he's referring to one Mr. Bernie Sanders, a potential Democratic presidential candidate in the United States election. Well, Jason, I feel the burn in debates in two major ways. And these are two big characteristics of Bernie Sanders' own debating and public speaking style. So the first one is to be incredibly passionate about what you believe in, and don't be afraid to share that with the people. And then second, to be consistent as possible throughout the debate. So first, being passionate. I think when Bernie Sanders gets up there in front of the podium, in front of his people in the debate, the stadium, the audience, the room, the crowd, whoever may be listening just gets electrified. And that's because you can feel the passion, you can feel the burn during his speeches, and you know that Mr. Sanders is speaking from the bottom of his heart, talking about these comparatively radical idealistic shifts that he wants to see in the American public. So I'd say speak from the heart, and the audience will be able to tell how passionate you are. And the second thing is consistency. So compared to some of the other presidential candidates, it's been noted that although maybe a little bit more extreme in his beliefs, Mr. Sanders has perhaps been more consistent than some of the other candidates in what he stands for. Now, I'm sure you fact checkers out there and research advocates will be able to disprove or poke holes in that a little bit if you dig deeply enough. But generally speaking, he's more consistent than some of the other candidates. And that's a key thing to remember in debate, Jason. Whether you're the first speaker or the last speaker, or you're speaking twice in the debate, you need to be consistent amongst your team. And your team needs to have a certain degree of cohesion and a certain degree of cohesiveness between all your speakers. So remember, one thing you can learn from Mr. Sanders during the debate is to speak passionately from the bottom of your heart, and also to be consistent from the first speaker to the last. All right, thanks for your question, Jason. Let's see, next question here.
Hi, I'm Tori, and I wanted to ask Learning Leaders, how can I argue for something I don't really believe in?
Ooh, Tori, thanks for that question. How can I argue in something I don't really believe in? Well, Tori, as a wise man once said, arguing for something you don't believe in is just about the most fun thing you can do in debate. When you argue for something you don't believe in, it's like doing a crazy amount of mental gymnastics. Okay, let's take this for example. If we were having a debate, what is a better ice cream flavor, chocolate or vanilla? Now, all you viewers probably know that Mr. Mike is definitely on team chocolate. But if I had to be on team vanilla for this debate, I would really need to look at this problem, look at this debate topic from multiple angles to try to come up with all the reasons why vanilla is better than chocolate, which we all know is for no reason whatsoever, because chocolate's absolutely the best. But if I had to do this, if you made me do this, I would probably have to think that vanilla could be the original flavor that other flavors are based off of. That original flavor that's more consistent depending on where you go around the world, right? So you can immediately, test yourself and really think about what are the arguments for the opposite side of the debate, one that you don't really feel passionately about. And that is no question, Tori, that is a challenge. But it is absolutely a great thought exercise and something that you should actively engage in when you find a debate topic. Because, Tori, you're probably more likely to be able to speak very excitedly, and you're going to be more likely to find positive confirmation bias on the side that you believe in. However, if you really give your best effort to look at the other side of the debate, I think you'll be surprised on, number one, how much fun it is to actually view or to actually argue against your own views, And then number two, you'll be surprised at how much you learn in the process. So Tori, that's an awesome question. And I would encourage you, when you find a debate topic, actually start on the side maybe that you don't necessarily agree. Because if you start on the side that you do, you're probably just going to reconfirm all of your biases through that process, and it'll be even harder to research the other side later. So great question, Tori. All right, and last but not least.
So hi, my name is Chewy. I want to ask learning leaders whether if speaking slowly is a better approach to debating.
Mr. Chewy, is speaking more slowly a better approach to debate? Chewy, that's an awesome question, and I think I need to answer this question with a qualifier. And what I mean by that is it really depends on what style of debate you're doing, what you're being evaluated on, and who your audience is. So first let me talk about the qualifier for a second, and then I'll get into maybe a more substantive response. So first, depends on what style of debate you're doing, what you're being evaluated on, and who your audience is. So if you're a policy debater on the United States Collegiate Policy Debate League, you're probably gonna be speaking a mile a minute, maybe 400 words a minute, reading off a sheet or spreading your arguments to make sure that it's challenging for your opponent to respond, but also that you get an incredible amount of substance out during your speech. So you're gonna be speaking incredibly quickly. On the other hand, if you're debating maybe in a parliamentary debate format where a greater degree could be placed on your delivery, or a greater degree of the scoring could be placed on your manner of presentation, then I would say to slow down a little bit. Similarly, when it comes to the judging, if you find that you're debating in a bilingual environment, I would encourage you, Chewy, to actually slow down just a little bit. Because if you're in a bilingual debate environment, slowing down is actually going to increase the overall quality of the debate. The judges, your opponents, and maybe your partner too, depending on what languages they speak, are going to be more likely to fully understand and appreciate your own points. So giving the benefit of the doubt to everybody in the room and speaking just a little bit more slowly, I think is a big help. Now, when it comes to the velocity or the pace of your delivery, slowing down your speech accomplishes two pretty major things. Number one, it's going to significantly reduce the amount of filler words, like the ums and the uhs and the likes that you might share when you speak. And I think we've been over this in a previous episode. And the second thing that slowing down is going to enable you to do is to be able to think ahead of what you're about to say next. So if you're simply speaking like this really quickly, it's a little bit more challenging to think about what you're going to say in the next sentence. On the other hand, by slowing your voice down just a little bit, you can plan ahead and you can really find that perfectly crafted turn of phrase or that exact and precise refutation that you're looking for. So Chewy, I'm a little biased towards speaking a little bit slower than you might actually be accustomed to, but I think every debate coach might give you slightly different advice. So I would say personally, I would say Chewy, speak a little bit more slowly than you'd care to, just to make sure that the audience and the judges and your opponents can completely understand what you're saying, so you can reduce filler words, and also so you can really give yourself enough time to think about what to say next. All right, those are some great questions from our three questioners today, Jason, Tori, and Chewy. Thank you very much. And now let's get into the the quotation of the day.
Quotation of the day!
All right, this quotation of the day comes from Michael Bloomberg, entrepreneur and former mayor of New York City. And the quotation goes something like this: "In the game of life, once the final buzzer sounds, assists are the only statistic that you can take with you." And I think the athletes who are watching probably know what this means. The assist is when you help somebody else score a goal or score points. And I think Mr. Bloomberg really succinctly puts it here, the fact that when we are all no longer here, as sad as that might sound, it is what you enabled other people to do that really matters. It's not necessarily what you were able to accomplish, your goals, whether you were the highest scoring person on the court or on the pitch or the field or the ice or in the pool, but it's really what you were able to empower others to do behind you or with you or in conjunction with your efforts that really matter. And in my opinion, this directly relates to debate, because when you're debating, you're on a team. and it's your team's successes or failures that will define you and the experiences that you have with debate. So even if you feel that you're the stronger debater between you and your partner, or even if you feel that amongst your practice group, you might be the weaker member of the group, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that you help your teammates to be successful. In doing so, not only are you going to understand the material better, because in my opinion, teaching is the best way to learn, but also you're going to improve the quality and the experience for every single person around you. And you're going to be known as a teammate who values and cares for everyone around them, which in turn is going to make you a very sought after teammate when competition season rolls around. So thank you very much, former Mayor Mr. Bloomberg. Really appreciate that guidance, and something to think about for all of us, that it's the assists that we can take with us. So thank you guys very much for tuning in to episode 13 of the Ask Learning Leaders show. Remember to send your questions, even if you're not in Shanghai. Reach out to us, ask@learningleaders.com, WeChat, Snapchat, Instagram, any other way you can get in touch. Don't be a stranger. We'll see you guys when you come back from the summer.